Okay, cool. It's interesting that you said who you're from, because that's actually more accurate probably than where I'm from. I have always, I've always been a Christian. I've always, loved um, studying the gospel and things like that. But I was the person that I was before was someone who really bought into like indoctrinated beliefs and just assuming, that God was a certain way and that, Christ was in my life for this, he was my savior and, did the atonement and all these things. But I didn't really give myself time to look beyond just what I had been taught. And I think that was probably the biggest key change in becoming the person that I am right now, is I allowed myself to have a personal connection with God, to have a personal relationship with God, and to allow him to teach me through the scriptures. And when I would pray, I would really be open to listening to what he had to share with me. I would definitely ask questions and just kind of plant those seeds in my heart of, can you please just give me a little bit more information about this? But I just allowed myself to get beyond just the normal, religious things, that people talk about. I allowed myself to have a personal relationship with God. So I feel like that's probably was the biggest change to becoming the person that I am right now. And the person that I was before had a heart attack because I was not living a life of purpose. I was living a very surface life. It was a good life. I have a great husband. I've got a good family. I've got, everything on the outside looked good, but on the inside, I feel like my spirit was just trapped because I was just doing a 9-to-5 job. I even, had a time clock that I would clock in the morning, clock in at night when I left. And just, I was just showing up to work every day and then just doing the mom thing and the wife thing and didn't have anything beyond that. So once I started asking, and that's what, and then I had a heart attack. And then I started asking, I started doing a lot of journaling and a lot of reading and just asking, what I felt like I had, it's like the second half of my life was a gift. I had this heart attack when I was 49. And so I felt like, okay, the next 50 years, what does that look like? Who do I want to be in this next 50 years? And that finding that path of purpose for myself is really what opened up how I get to serve other people. I feel like I'm very gifted at helping other people to understand what their path of purpose is. And I even wrote a book called The 7 Gateways that takes you from being in fear to actually living in alignment with your highest self, with your purpose.
Beautiful. Love it. Thank you. Give us a story, or the story, if it's one or if it's multiple, of how did you come to find what your mission and purpose was, of like, I really feel like God is calling me to do this. This is why I'm on the planet. This is what I'm here to do. And I trust that you're going to help me with it.
There is one moment, and it kind of just happened. I didn't really ask for it or didn't know, this was what was going to happen. But I was sitting in someone's living room. We were in sort of like a retreat setting, and we paired up in partners and we asked the question, what do you want? And we just asked the question of each other and just kept asking that question over and over again. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And at first, my answers were very surface, kind of materialistic. And then I started getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and I got super emotional, and I felt like there was some calling that I had, some mission or purpose that I had that was had to do with helping people through addiction. And it's interesting, that was like the starting point. And I don't, promote myself as an addiction coach, but I was an addiction coach for 2 years. And so I definitely can help people with that. But that was the start of me really finding a mission that would allow me to be able to feel like I was living a life of purpose. And so from that moment forward, I started learning about addiction and just, you know, asking God, what do you have for me? What do I need to know about addiction to be able to serve people? And so that was a 2-year journey, and then it moved to something else. But God knew that that was what I needed to help me get started.
Beautiful.